Hello, here we have Vipin Jain. Vipin has dedicated the last 15 years of his professional career to software quality. Currently, he's working with Metacube Software. At the conference, you have talked about the challenges and organizational phases when embracing DevOps. If we focus on the QA and testing departments, why QA is scared of DevOps?
Okay, so thanks for introducing me. And I'm pretty happy standing here because this is my third time and I'm glad that you came up with this question. So this was my topic also. The problem with DevOps, I think, is DevOps has empowered the QA, the developers in fact, to do almost every kind of stuff that QA used to do in the past. So when I started my career, we do all the manual stuff. When automation came up, we are the guys who are doing the automation stuff. And then we are logging all the bugs and everything. With DevOps, what happened is just the name DevOps. So there is no place for QA. So there is a developer and then there is ops team. And the developer is now writing their automation code in their unit test. The developers write all the unit tests within their code and the developers test it. They don't pass the go button until all the tests get passed. The developers do have lots of testing mechanisms now because of these modern day tools and automation stuff and this kind of things. So the QA now thinks that the developer is doing unit testing, the developer is doing automation, the developer is doing all the check-ins of the code, the developer is doing all the code reviews, the developer is basically allowing the code to released or not to release. So what's my role now? Where exactly I am? So that's the scary part, that where am I getting fit into this current structure of software development, where there is a developer who is taking care of testing and development, and then there is ops team and SRE team who is basically going through all these infrastructure setups and everything. So am I just limited to do some clicking, this link is working fine, this validation and verification is doing good, this kind of stuff, or I'm still required for this software to get released to the customers, and then someone says that, wow, that's a great QA done because there is no customer problem or escalations that come up. So I think that has scared the QAs, and especially the QAs which are working for more than 10 years now, because they are not used to this kind of stuff. The new QA that is starting his career like 2 years back or today or 1 year back, they are starting with this culture. So they are starting with as like a second lead to the developers, where developers are doing most of the stuff and the QA is helping him out in doing other things. So I think that's my take on why QAs are getting scared of this DevOps culture. And I think in my presentation, I also came up with a couple of solutions where the QA can still help a lot in the quality and can help a lot in giving value to the customer, because ultimately, why this DevOps is there? Because we are now getting more customer centric. Customer is the boss, right? So it's very easy for a customer to download an application, and if there is a simple bug, he just removes it from your machine and he downloads your competitor's thing, right? So loss of one customer is loss of revenue for you. That's the keyword, that's the buzzword. So then, so what QA can do now more is he can become a helping friend to the developer. He can sit with the developer, explain that how his unit tests can infuse more quality into the product that is ultimately getting out. Fine. So that is big thing, because whatever happening inside your office is, that is within your office. But whatever is getting outside to the customer doesn't think it's a bad development or it's a bad QA. For him, it's a bad application. So then the customer just say, I don't care how much hours you guys put and how much money you guys put and how big is your team. It's a bad application, as simple as that. So I think the QA can become a much more helping hand to the developers. They can become a friend. We always have to remember that a developer is a developer and a QA is a QA. A tester is a tester. A developer is always trained to create what you can say a constructive things, and QA is always destructively constructive. So it's not just breaking the code, it's like breaking the code for the good for the customer. So we are trained in that way. The developers are trained in their way. A developer cannot be a tester. A tester cannot be a developer. That's the big thing. But because of this pressure of pushing the software early to the market before your competitors and giving more releases per day and something like that, the developers tend to do many things on their own now. And just this thing is creating a lot more confusion in the QA's mind. Many organizations, to save the money, they say that because we have unit tests and because we have this automation code, why we need the QAs? And the QA who is doing QA for last 10 years and who is not used to this kind of arrangement, he's like more scared, guys like me, for example, like where the QA will fall, because next thing that will come from DevOps is something bigger. So Agile was there, then DevOps. So next, whatever thing is going to come, it's different. That's my take on it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.